Hello! Welcome everyone to the Clutter Crushers Workshop. I'm so excited to have you all here today. Thank you for coming. My name is Katie and I run the blog Organizing Moms. Today we're going to talk about how to tackle clutter in a way that feels manageable and achievable. I get a lot of people asking me questions about how they can start decluttering, especially if they feel like really overwhelmed by all that there is to do. So today we're going to talk about actionable strategies to help you get started and things to do to kind of get rid of the feeling of overwhelm that you may have about decluttering. By the end of the workshop, you're going to have practical steps to take home and put into action right away. But before we dive in, if you're excited to crush clutter today, go ahead and hit the like button. That'll help make it so that other people will see this workshop too. And feel free to share in the comments which area of your home or maybe even like your workplace you want to tackle the most, which one you would like to see be clutter-free or close to clutter-free. Okay, well, let's dive in. The first strategy is called start small, win big. Often when we think about decluttering, it feels just really overwhelming, right? Like there's so much to do and we don't know where to start. But the key to success is to focus on small, actionable tasks. Tackling one space at a time will help you to build momentum and get those quick wins that make you motivated to keep going. So I always recommend to focus on one area at a time. When you focus on one area at a time, it could be a drawer, a shelf, or a countertop, whatever, just a small little area. That makes things feel a lot less overwhelming, obviously. Don't worry about decluttering the entire house in one go. As you can see in this before and after example, focusing on one small space can make a huge difference. And you can see, let's see, I wonder if I can move on the top picture. There was like a bunch of stuff on the table. This was, I think, it had to have been around Christmas time. I think that was decorations, maybe some gifts and things. And then after just a little bit of decluttering, it just looked so much clearer, so much better. So there's that. And you gain confidence with each space that you declutter. So as you see these little spaces that went from kind of feeling chaotic to feeling more like in control, that's going to help you, feel good about what you've been doing so far and want to continue. Next, set a timer. I am a huge fan of the 10-minute rule. You don't need to commit hours to decluttering. Just set a timer for 10 minutes and focus on one small space. You'd be surprised how much you can accomplish in just that short amount of time. That makes the process feel so much less overwhelming. And at the end of the presentation, I'm going to show you a resource that I have that will help you do decluttering in 10-minute bursts that we've been using for years and years, and it's super successful for people. And it's free. Okay. Next, celebrate progress. Even if you've only decluttered a small space, that's a win. Each small success brings you closer to an organized home. So take a moment and share in the comments below, what is one small victory you've had with decluttering lately? And let's celebrate those wins together. So what's something that you've decluttered? It could be something big, I guess, if you had a big project that you are really proud of, but even if it's something small, like, I don't know, lately I decluttered our cords that were all kind of in the same drawer. And even though it was a small project, boy, getting that done was really, really very satisfying. I didn't realize how much it had bothered me until it was kind of fixed up and decluttered and I knew where to find things. Okay. The next section is about systems over stuff. So that's our second strategy. Decluttering isn't just about getting rid of things. I mean, it is about getting rid of things, but there's really more to it. It's about creating systems that will help you stay organized long term. So we're going to look at a few simple steps and a few simple systems that you can use in your home that will make decluttering almost more automatic and something that you consider when you're going through your regular day-to-day stuff. So the first system is to create homes for everything. Every item in your house should have a designated spot. And you know what? You don't have to decide all of this at once. But especially if you find that you're constantly looking for one thing in particular, make sure you create a home for that and maybe even make a post-it note and stick it on your fridge to remind you of where that home is. Um, when you know exactly where something goes, it's much easier to keep your space tidy. So, you can see this little boy here. He's got a designated spot to put that truck on that shelf. So he always knows where to find it. He knows where to put it away. Having that consistent spot is great for not only you, but for everybody else in your family. Okay, another system I love is the one in, one out rule. So this means that for every new item you bring into your home, you discard or donate one of them. So I really had to start using this one in, one out rule with shoes. And I'm not really like a shoe person, but I did find over time I was just accumulating a lot of shoes, and most of them I didn't wear. Um, and this was kind of before I really started doing the one in, one out stuff. The way that I actually ended up getting rid of a lot of those shoes is that I was in a buy nothing group, and somebody in the buy nothing group actually needed shoes in my size. So I gave a lot of them to that person. But if over time, every time I brought a new pair of shoes in, I had donated or given away one pair of shoes, I wouldn't have ended up with a lot of excess. So this is something you can do for everything. Like when you bring in a new sweater or something like that, then you get rid of one so that you're not just accumulating more and more stuff. This is especially helpful for things that you tend to have too much of over time. Okay, let's see here. Labels and containers are game changers. As you can see in this example here, where I've got the cords boxes labeled, this was actually the project I was talking about earlier. Having labels on things and making it easy to see where things go can just be really helpful and makes everything really clear, not only to you, but to everybody else in your family. Bins and containers keep everything in its place, and it also sets a limit for how much you can have of a certain item. So as you can see in the little picture here, I've got tiny cords, iPhone cords, USB-C cords. There's only so many cords that can fit into these containers. So if I have a lot of the iPhone cords, which we had a lot of iPhone cords for like the older versions of iPhones. If it's not all fitting into that container, then I know, okay, we probably have more than enough because that's a decent sized container to put things in. So if you've already started using labels or containers for your own organizing efforts, let me know in the comments what worked best for you. What kinds of labels, what kinds of containers do you like? In the example here, these little containers, they do have lids on them. But I often find that not having a lid on containers can be helpful too, especially with kids. So using maybe those little cloth cube organizer containers are great for little kids. They can just put things in there and put it away really easily. So yeah, let me know what kinds of things have worked for you as far as labels and containers. Okay, finally, let's talk about consistency and upkeep. So decluttering really is just the beginning, but the key to long-term success is maintaining your newly organized and decluttered spaces. So let's look at some strategies to help you stay on top of things. Routine check-ins are a great way to keep the clutter at bay. You can schedule regular clutter checks, whether it's daily, weekly, or monthly, so you stay on top of things before the clutter has a chance to pile up. Think of it as ongoing maintenance, like checking the oil on your car. I know one example that we use in our house is we have just like a table that's close to where we enter the house, and everything ends up piled on that table. So if I take a little bit of time at the end of the day to just kind of like clear that off, put things away, have other people put those things away if they've left them there, that really helps it make it easier for us to find things, and it feels a lot more calm and clear. So doing those routine check-ins and making that part of your regular routine, is super helpful. Okay, decluttering as a family habit. So it doesn't have to be just you. You can enlist the help of other people that live with you, um, and you can assign age-appropriate tasks to your kids or other family members to make it a group effort. Some people like to create a chore chart that includes decluttering or putting things away, and if that works for you, that's great. Um, One thing that has worked for us as a family, I have teenagers, but one thing that's worked for us is just doing kind of a situational habit. So, like when you leave the car, make sure that you bring all the trash with you, and we have the trash can right in the front of the garage where people can throw stuff away. Does it work 100% of the time? No. But we do have that pattern that we try to get everything, all the trash and stuff out of the car when we're going into the house. So if you can come up with kind of situational habits like that, that can be super helpful. I know a lot of people say for younger kids, okay, when we're done cleaning, we're going to take 5 minutes when we're done playing in the toy room, we're going to take 5 minutes to clean up and put everything away. Maybe even like play a cleanup song while things are getting put away. So those kinds of habits can make it so that you don't have to do separate decluttering projects. Finally, consider doing seasonal purges or seasonal decluttering sessions. For example, before the holidays or back to school season, go through your items and decide what you no longer need. This keeps things from accumulating and makes it easier to maintain your home throughout the year. As far as decluttering, like seasonal purging, we do a lot. As we're changing from summer clothes to winter clothes, we go through the summer clothes. Like if we're about to go into the winter season, so going through the things that we had this summer, maybe getting rid of the things that we've outgrown or that no longer work, and then when you get out the new things for the winter, also looking at those and decide whether or not they're going to fit, whether they're going to work for the upcoming season. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. The 3 main pillars we've covered today are starting small and winning big, tackle one space at a time, systems over stuff, creating organized systems, not just, decluttering on its own, but creating a way to organize your things, and then consistency and upkeep, making decluttering a habit. So, as I mentioned earlier in the workshop, I do have a resource that you can get if you'd like it. It is free decluttering checklist that I can send to you via email. And I'll leave the link to get these decluttering checklists below. If you don't already have them, you may already be subscribed and have these decluttering checklists. But when you subscribe, I'll send you the first one right away so that you can get started. And then every week I'll send you a new decluttering checklist to kind of take the guesswork out of what to declutter and where to get started. I think that's kind of a roadblock for a lot of people. They don't know where to begin. Well, this just tells you, like, go to this area and declutter this one specific thing for 10 minutes. So totally doable projects that you can do in 10 minutes. And we give you all the ideas that you need. I do find that as people use these checklists, they're like, oh, okay, I could do what is suggested on here, but I really see this other area in my home that needs attention first. So it can sometimes make you more clear about what it is that you want to declutter in your home. So if you'd like this, check the description below, and I'll leave a link for you to get those free decluttering checklists. I want to thank you for being here. This is one of my first YouTube presentations. So thank you for being here, and thank you for being patient. And like I said before, you can use the link below to get the free decluttering checklist and get subscribed to updates from me from Organizing Moms. And if you enjoyed this video or if you want more videos like this, please like the video and subscribe to the Organizing Moms channel. And I'll make more free workshops and videos for you. I hope this was helpful. And thank you again for being here.